do it.
Holland these lights, isn't it?
There's two people joined already. Hey there.
Okay, just wait for everyone to join us. So we've got a few people joining us now, so just give it a couple more seconds.
Okay.
Right, okay, so it looks like we've got a few people who've tuned in, so thank you for tuning in. So good evening to everyone for joining us tonight for a Q&A with Withington golf professional Steve Marr. Steve has been a professional here for 11 years. I'm sure everyone's really looking forward to hearing from him. Right, so the way it's going to work is we're going to ask Steve a few questions that we've already come up with, and then once we've gone through those, we're just going to take it up to anybody who's watching live. So if they've got any questions, please start submitting them. Not yet, put them towards the end of the interview. We'll let you know when we want to start hearing questions. Just a little Paul Allen was determined to show his face there, so
Sorry.
That was Paul. Okay, so we'll start off with question one. How long have you been a pro? How long have you been a professional?
Well, I started my training here in 1975, 74, 75. Qualified in 77, 78, so about 37, 38 years. Man and boy, yeah, I've been a pro. Started here and then I went to Prestbury for a few years, and then my first club job was at Cheadle Golf Club, and then a little bit of travelling to Shropshire and then abroad, and to America finally, and then back here.
Yeah.
So that was good, yeah.
Okay. It's fair to say that Steve's seen quite a lot and he's a very experienced coach.
Looks good for 38 years.
He does, doesn't he? Yeah. Good tan.
You turned pro at 2?
Yeah. 2, yeah.
Okay. Have you coached anyone famous over the years?
Well, I have, yeah. I've been very fortunate. Yeah, I've been in the right place at the right time, and even going back to when I was in Shropshire, I trained the Shropshire and Herefordshire team, who were the best junior team in the country for 5 years running. And then on my travels, I sort of coached. Well, I played a lot with Ian Woosnam and didn't really coach him, but Pete Baker, and then in America I was fortunate enough to meet up with Inby Park, who's world #1 lady golfer at the moment, so that was good. And
That's
Zach
fantastic.
Johnson was, I gave Zach a few lessons, mostly short game, you know, so yeah, I've been fortunate enough to.
That's fantastic. You know, the two major winners this year, that you've worked with. That's just unbelievable stuff. I mean, can you talk us through some of the things you worked with Zach and Inby? Your time with them?
Very different, very different. And I suppose Zach really, we used to do putting drills really, and chipping and putting drills mainly. 3 foot through 3, 4, 5, 6, 9 feet putting drills, north, south, east, west, around a cup. Lots of chipping into circles and different distances and stuff like that. There is actually a test out there we use, which is a Tucker short game test, which actually gives you a short game handicap, which is quite interesting. So we did that quite a lot with Zach.
Okay.
And then in B, I used to just teach an hour or 2 hours a week, and then a playing lesson every week. And she was 14, didn't speak very much English, but lovely people, lovely family, and just very gifted. Very gifted. You know, the honest truth is, with someone as gifted as that, you know, you don't really have to. It's encouragement and you know, just new little shots that they might not have in their armoury at that time. But yeah, wonderful golfer. Yeah.
Excellent. I mean, it's fair to say, you know, not just Withington, but Manchester in general, you know, we're lucky to have such a, you know, esteemed coach here. But any interesting stories you can tell us, perhaps about Zach or Inby over the years?
Yeah, I think there's one with Zach which is pertinent to the moment really, because he's won the Open. So I remember talking to him outside the academy building, and he was not, I wouldn't say struggling, because he's never really struggled, he's always been a great golfer, but he was just making his way on the US tour. And I said to him one day, I said, listen, you know, I think you could win in Europe. I think you need to go to Europe and, you know, further your career and get a win under your belt. And I'm sure he could, because his ball flight and his fantastic short game, etc., etc., is tailor-made. And he said to me, well, you know, Steve, I want to win on the big stage. And what he meant by that was in America. But, you know, eventually he's now won on the biggest stage, which is winning the Open at secondary. So that was wonderful. So good guy, and it was a pleasure to to work with him a little bit.
Great, fantastic. So we talked about some of the celebrities. We could call them celebrities, or golf professionals you coach. But who at Withington would you like to coach, or do you currently coach that are of any interest to our audience tonight?
Paul Allen would be good. No, I wouldn't. Yeah, it would be very nice. No,
I'd spend a lot of money with you, wouldn't I?
Yeah, hope so. I'd like to teach everybody, but we've got to be realistic, and people's time is limited, etc., etc. But this year in particular, John Gill, Gary Milne, have all worked very hard on the games. Liam O'Connor, just to mention a few. Tommy Farrell, who's a high handicapper, knocking on in years, but he's really enjoyed practicing and getting back into his game. And Scylla, one of the lady members, she's doing really, really well.
Okay.
So I like working with people who really want to, move on a little bit. There's no secrets, There's no secrets to this game.
Yeah.
So there's a member that you've not mentioned within your coaching fraternity this year.
I'm going to get a bit of a telling off.
There's a bit of a story to be had on your coaching at the moment, and perhaps we can elaborate on that at the moment.
Is it the last lesson I've had today?
No, it was earlier on this week, maybe like last week. There was a gent called Dan Armstrong.
Dan, I remember
bunker
that well.
shots,
Yeah.
known to his friends as Stretch.
Right. Okay.
And he had a bunker lesson with yourself.
He did, yeah. We did get out.
So
no, he did very well. Dan's working hard in his game, and he did okay. Yeah. He's got a swing of his very own. Yeah. He's doing great. He's doing fine.
Excellent. I mean, some of the names you mentioned there, I mean, I've personally seen them in the top 3 this year. Winning a comp or coming in that top 3, and so certainly you've seen the progression since you've been coaching them over the last couple of years.
Yeah. I mean, at the end of the day, coaching is very individual. You've got to get on with the person and understand what they want.
Yeah.
Because time's limited, for many people. So, keeping it basic, keeping it simple, is always best. So
yeah,
that's what I try to do.
Excellent. Yeah. We see you've got your golf bag here, Steve.
Oh,
so, I don't know if you'd like to talk us through what you've got in your bag. There's quite a lot of clubs.
Well,
someone claimed it was clean for the first time today. Is that true?
Nice and shiny. Yeah. So I've got. I change it a little bit from time to time, depends on the course. Now today I've got 3 iron through to 9 iron, and I've got 4 wedges. So I've got ping eye 20, and just with a stiff CFS shaft, that does me. I get a nice flight on them, and these days I need a bit of help, so the cavity back helps me a wee bit.
Yeah.
So I've got the iron 3 to 9 iron, and the wedges I've got the gorge wedges. I've got 50.
Yeah.
54, 60,
okay.
Which I really like actually. And then I've got a very old Odyssey putter which I've had for years really, which there's a bit of grass in that. That I really like.
Yeah.
Yeah, the face insert for me is absolutely ideal.
Okay.
And I've just put one of those super soft grips on it.
Yeah.
Which has helped me a little bit.
So what's that grip do? Is it sort of slightly different to your average?
Well, it's slightly
grip,
fatter, and the right hand grip is the same thickness as a left hand grip.
Okay.
As opposed to typical grip, which is tapered.
Yeah.
Okay,
right.
So this is actually like sort of one thickness, which helps the hands and keeps the wrists out of the stroke a wee bit.
Okay, interesting.
Then in the woods, I've got a 5-wood, a strong 5-wood at 16 degrees.
Yeah.
And a driver which is 11.5 currently.
Right, 11.5. Yeah.
Try and get a bit of launch on it. Try and get a bit of distance in my old age,
Okay.
So we've got.
So I'm a ping man. Yeah.
We've got Matt Nixon that's just joined, who's currently on the European tour. Good afternoon, Matt. He's mentioned a couple of things whilst you were talking through your bag.
Oh, yeah.
He said the putters broke his heart a few times. Is there anything you can say about that?
I just get lucky when I play with Matt. I seem to putt all right, and he doesn't always appreciate it. I don't know why, but no. We've had some great games, and I love that putter. Yeah. I might sell it him.
Are we having a bidding warfare at the moment, Matt? How much you will?
No, it's not for sale. No. He's got hundreds of them.
Okay, so we'd like to take some questions from everybody watching now. So if you've got any questions for Steve, please fire them off now. Right, so the first question that's come through, Steve, is what's your best round at Withington?
65.
65?
65. Can't get lower than that.
Yeah, okay.
Tried hard, I can't.
And something must have gone well, and you must have enjoyed some holes that day. But what's your particular favourite hole?
I think the 14th. I'll go with 14.
14.
Yeah, it's a good dogleg right, and it's always a demanding tee shot with the out of bounds on the right hand side, and then with the trees overhanging at the last 2/3 of the hole. I think it makes you shape your second shot now. So, and of course it's long. So yeah, it's demanding. Yeah, it's my favourite. Yeah, I think.
So you like the challenge of the fact it's longer and
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we have a lot of other holes which are, coming on. We're getting maybe a bit more fairway bunkering and stuff like that, which makes the shorter holes a little bit more challenging as well, which you have to think about a little bit more.
Yeah.
So overall, we're getting a bit of character to the course, and obviously the conditions have been fantastic this year. So.
Excellent. Just to remind everyone, if you've got any other questions, please just submit them now and we'll ask Steve. One that came through a little bit earlier is actually no, we've got
that's
a question.
Really good question, that actually. Yeah.
We've got one here.
So Matt Nixon has. You're busy tonight, Matt. You're not doing anything. You need to get some practice in. If there's any changes to the golf course, what would you make if money was no option? It's a really good question.
Well, I think he knows my answer actually, but I would get rid of a lot of trees and I'd put a lot more fairway bunkering in. As nice as it is, and I love it to bits, I think we need a lot more fairway bunkering and tighten up one or two of the greens, such like. But and length's obviously an issue here. We need to get maybe a little bit more length into the course, but if holes are tricky enough, maybe we don't need that. So for me, fairway bunkering's the immediate thing.
Okay, excellent. We've got a question from the clubhouse. A special guest in the studio.
Come on, Ben.
Come on, Ben. Do you want to come on and ask the question?
If I made it on tour, would you like to teach? Would you like to be my coach?
Of course, I would. It'd be a pleasure to be your coach.
What percentage would you take?
Yeah, we'd have to discuss the percentages now.
We'll discuss the percentages, Ben.
Of course we would. Good lad.
Excellent.
Very nice play.
Is there anything you want to say about Ben at the moment? So he's one of our junior
I mean, we've got
players, isn't he?
He's learning very quickly for such a young lad, and he's got a really nice golf swing. But again, we work on just basic stuff, a nice golf grip and good posture and that type of thing, path of the golf club. So, yeah, good stuff. He's a good player.
Excellent. So I think that's most of the questions that we've had come through and we've asked you. But we do have one final exclusive that Steve would like to announce to everyone watching this and anybody watching it not live in the next couple of days. And Steve, so if you want to, over to you to tell us about the exclusive announcement.
Yeah, well, we have a room downstairs which I've used loosely as a teaching room. We have a net down there and stuff like that. So I'm going to develop that correctly. We're going to have it painted and decorated, and we're going to get a flight scope down there, which is a great sort of piece of software for golf coaching and also club fitting. So that'll be a benefit to me and my coaching, which I dearly love, and obviously club fitting will help the membership to come down and get the right driver and get fitted for irons and all sorts of stuff. So that bit of kit will be available probably about mid-September. We're getting it all organised at the moment, so exciting times, and I think it's it's an addition to coaching. I really like it as part of coaching, but I don't think it's the be-all and end-all, but I think it's a really nice addition, so I'm looking forward to it, and I'm sure the members will.
That's fantastic news. I think everyone's excited, about that news. Really looking forward to it, and we're going to do a couple of videos, going forward, and one of them will be to test out, looking at how that kit works and what the benefit will provide to all the members. And a couple of other videos that we're going to do in the future. One is going to be a short putting drill, and also a drill on how to play your shots out of the trees, which is quite important at Withington.
Cool.
Yeah, it's quite a narrow course, isn't it? So the trees do come into play. So looking at how we do that, I think that's a really, really important lesson that a lot of people can take a lot out of. So we're looking forward to doing that.
Okay, well thanks Steve for
I've enjoyed it.
taking part in the Q&A, and I hope everyone's enjoyed it at home. One final announcement is that there's a new ale on in the bar called Shipyard, so if everyone wants to have a taste of that this weekend, please do. It's meant to be a really good tasting ale. Alright, so thanks for joining us, and hope to see you in the future.